The Art and Mastery of Manipulation and Deception. Chapter 1. Manipulation. This is a story of what it truly means to what it means to have to what some minds refer to, of having, of what the greatest weapon is, as to of what that some minds refer to of as the human mind, as to this. Story will be exploring and testing what the greatest weapon of the mind is capable of, and what limits it can be pushed to even. To of the point of beyond its limits, or to even its breaking limits as to this story, will push to its ultimate limits of what the human mind is capable of and what limits it is capable of withholding as to this will occur onto a certain number of individuals as to they are going to be pushed to their ultimate limits as to everyone will be able to witness. The crippling and battling experiences that their minds will have to endure and experience as to we will all get to experience not just to know what it means to be who we are, but what it means to know what the human mind truly is. As to we start right into the heart of learning and excellence itself, as to we start right into the heart of a university, as to we slowly go through the heart of the university, slowly going through its corridors and hallways, slowly making our ways through the heart of this university from its heart to its ends, until we eventually end up into a quite little study hall as to that right now, at this very particular moment in time, that two particular professors that are studying and preparing into what will be their latest teachings and debates for the students for the university as to on this particular day that they will be teaching on this particular day. As to this will be a teaching experience for them, also as to this will also be a pitch for them as to that they will be pitching a particular something to a particular certain amount of someone's, as to we all arrive into this study. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. So, do you think that we will get it through to them then? Professor Sakura Rin. Who knows, really, but if we are going to do this, then this is the best way to do it. You know, show it to them firsthand, and what better way to do it than to show it to a bunch of newly students that what this particular certain something is, and what this particular certain something can do, that will probably blow their minds, and, in hopes, will probably blow their minds as well. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. You mean those eggheads from NASA? Professor Sakura Rin. Yes, but remember, we're eggheads as well. We've just got to target those particular eggheads and impress the shit out of them, and make them see things our way, and get them to see things from our perspective, and get those eggheads to give us all of that money. You mean, the grant? Yeah, the same thing, and we can continue into our little projects and what we are doing, and we'll have the fundings to do it because, you know, we're both broke. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Yeah, well, who said being a professor pays well anyway? Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah, well, it should, and especially where we are and who we are teaching at this little establishment, you know, Harvard, and we're teaching the best and brightest to, you know, become us. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. I'm grateful that you think that we're the best and brightest and Professor Sakura Rin. Well, one of us at least. But we wouldn't be in this situation right now if we weren't, instead of having to grovel and beg to those eggheads for their money because you fucked up the last grant appeal because you thought trying to get them to volunteer and go into a gravity reactor would be a good idea. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Yeah, well, it's not my fault if they are too afraid to go in there and experience something awesome, like experiencing zero gravity, and may possibly experience the other, you know what? Yeah, and I think it was that, you know what they were shit scared of. I mean, no one's ever experienced anything like that before, especially them, and you just thought it was a good idea to just throw them all in there and just flip the switch and see what would happen, you crazy moron. We're lucky they all didn't call the police and have us both thrown into a padded cell for just being typical mad scientists. I wouldn't even go in there. You were the only one who was crazy enough to do it. Yeah, well, where's the fun without a little risk? Which part? Murdering them all and getting us thrown in the loony bin? Or just building that fucking thing in the first place? Both, but it was funny seeing all of their faces when I suggested it to them. They all turned white and said, wow, you really do fit into that stereotype of being a mad, crazy scientist and all that, and who said we were murdering them? We only would have accidentally killed them all if it went wrong. Yeah, and with your dumb ass, it would have. Remember, we're crazy, not dumb or stupid or whatever. Yeah, you're just crazy and stupid and all that, and yeah, and all that, but just relax. We're not trying that this time. We're just going to show it to them and all that and see if it impresses the shit out of them. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to impress the shit out of those little shits, I mean students, that will hopefully impress the shit out of them at the same time and get us that money. Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah, well, just stick to the plan, and that is just to show it to them and not get them to go in there and get us thrown in jail, I'm just saying. Yeah, well, quit saying and get moving because they're coming. As to both of the scientists, they look and see that all of the students and the particular certain someones are starting to make their ways into the lecture hall, as to the two scientists start to make their ways towards the lecture hall. Professor Sakura Rin. There he is. There who is. What, are you fucking blind or something? He's right there with his other fat cat buddies. You mean corporate fat cats? Yeah, them, his Wall Street buddies. You mean NASA? I don't care, and it is that corporate fat cat leader who is the one we want to target the most because he's the one with the money, and he's the one that is going to fund us for the next 10 years. But it doesn't look like that he is on his own. What does that look like to you? That looks like soldiers. It looks like the Pentagon. Yep, so maybe last time wasn't a total disaster, and it looks like we caught the attention of the military, or the ones we tried to murder the last time, told them to either protect these new ones, or for the fact that they might be interested, so it looks like we might just not need to impress these fat cats. But we need to impress the jarheads as well. That's the Marines. I don't give a shit, so I'm sorry to say, but today is not for the students, as we will be teaching them, but we're mainly going after that corporate bigwig and getting all of his money. Well, trying anyway. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Yeah, well, you do all of the talking and I'll do all of the showing and you just do all of the showing and not just forcing them in there and I'll get us paid. Yeah, alright, just relax, as to everybody has just made their ways into the lecture hall, as to everybody starts into taking their seats, as to eventually all of the students have taken their seats, as to at the back all of the corporate fat cats and the military personnel have taken their seats as well, as to everybody is eagerly awaiting to what is about to happen. As to the two scientists start to make their ways out onto the platform to address to all of them as to what would be on the curriculum for today. Professor Sakura Rin? Welcome to all of you new students, as to some of the students are very rudely just bickering amongst themselves and are just talking amongst themselves and not paying attention as to out of nowhere 2 shots are fired into the air, as to this terrifies all of the students, as to they all either spin around to see what it is or just duck and dive for cover for their very lives, as to the scientists look and see who has made those shots, seeing that it was made from the head general of the Pentagon staff, telling all of the students to shut the fuck up and pay attention, as to Professor Sakura Rin shouts out, "Yeah, thank you. This is not a range, this is a lecture hall, so let me give you the first lecture and do not ever do that again. You have probably scared the piss out of these students and scarred them for life." Yeah, that was the general idea, as to the general says. Yes, well, this is my domain, you cretin, and in this domain, nobody usually starts busting shots out in here, unless it is educational, of course. Yeah, well, it was, look, everybody is shutting the fuck up and paying attention, so you're welcome. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. I'm starting to like that military general, well, he's better than the last bunch anyway. Professor Sakura Rin. Just shut up, and you shut that gun up, and let's begin. All of the students are terrified. Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah. We're definitely getting thrown into a padded cell after this one, even though it's that crazy bastard military general's fault. Anyway, let's do this, as to something is starting to be brought out onto the stage. All of the students and the corporate fat cats are all just looking and wondering into what this certain something is, as to the military general and all of his staff, who are looking and gazing into what this certain something is, as to the military general says, "It's finally here, it's finally arrived." As to what this certain something is, it is wheeled into the center of the platform, and as to the podium, it is wheeled away by the university staff, as to Professor Sakura Rin approaches herself towards it and says, "Does anybody know what this is?" Military general. I think I know what that is. Yeah, well, I wasn't asking you, General Trigger Happy Crazy Bitch. I was asking the traumatized students. So, traumatized students, does anybody know what this is? As to that, one of the students gets up out of his seat and says, "Is it safe to speak without getting shot?" Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah, I think so. I think they are safe, as the scientist is looking straight at the military general. For now. Good then. So what is it then? It's an ice cream maker. No, it is. It's a raffle machine. It's one of those bingo raffle machines. Okay, what the fuck? It's a torture porn device. Okay, you're just sick in the head, and you might want to throw that one into a padded cell as well. Hey, General Mental, are you listening? What? Yes, I'm listening. Good. Throw that one into a padded cell when we get our asses thrown in there as well. As to the scientist staff starts to power up the device, as to the lecture hall starts to shake, as to some of the students are jumping out of their seats and starting to get agitated. Don't worry, this is normal. Is this normal? As Professor Sakura Rin is looking at Professor Kaito Hiroshi, who just looks as if to say, who knows and who cares. Great. As to the room is shaking at a violent state. As to this puts the entire university on alert. As to all of the university's staff and the head of the university all race to the lecture hall as fast as they can just to see what the hell is going on. As to the head of the university sees what is happening. As to she screams out, "I told you that this was not negotiable and that you were both not permitted and authorized to do so. So why are you both doing this?" The professor is just looking and glaring at Professor Kaito Hiroshi with disgust in her eyes, because we never thought that it would end up like this or would be as powerful as this. Shut it down, shut IT down right now, as to Professor Sakura Rin orders for all of their staff to shut down whatever it is and power it down to 0. As to all of the staff immediately does what she asks and attempt into powering it down to 0. We can't shut it down. What the fuck do you mean you can't shut IT down? There's no off switch. What? As she is looking at Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Yeah, well, in case we have to shut it off again. And this time, I want everybody to see what this bad boy is capable of. You mad motherfucker? You have just killed all of us. As to out of nowhere, Professor Sakura Rin spins around and sees that the military general is right behind her. Don't worry, I have got the off switch. As to the military general takes out his sidearm and immediately unloads and blasts at the certain thing with everything that he has, unloading the entire clip straight at it, saying, "Die, you motherfucker, punk-ass bitch." As to then the thing just stops dead in its tracks and breaks and collapses. Professor Sakura Rin! Holy shit. I can't believe that actually worked. And you stupid cretin, you could have killed us all doing that as well, but I'm actually glad you brought that gun now because that traumatizing gun just saved the fucking day and saved all of us, so thanks, crazy general bitch-ass cretin. It's general, but you're welcome anyway. As to the head of the university goes straight up to both of the scientists and says, yeah, well, that general dipshit might have just saved everybody's lives, but not you two. Professor Sakura Rin, what do you mean? Both of you cretins come with me. All of the students are told that learning is over for today, and to take the rest of the day off, and to just go home, and to just forget what has just happened, and try not to have nightmares for the rest of their lives. As to the general says, no, that wasn't that bad. This place just got shook up a bit. Not for that. You taking your gun out and busting a couple of shots into the air? We're lucky we don't get shut down for that. As to the head of the university says. As to the general says, aw, what the fuck, don't worry about that. Just blame it on me, you'll be fine, and I'm a military general, what can they do to me anyway? Well, we'll see what that is if you don't get out, and you'll definitely see what that is if you don't get out right now, you cretin, so GET out. Military general. Okay, shit, time for us to leave. The military general takes all of his personnel and leaves before the head of the university completely loses her mind. Oh yeah, you two scientific cretins, come with me, as to she is storming towards her office. Professor Sakura Rin. Oh, great. What have you landed us into this time? Let's go and find out as to that. From there, both of the professors are escorted to the head of the university's office. University's office? You two absolute degenerate, worthless, moronic cretins. Do you both have any implications into what you have both just done? No, not really, as to Professor Kaito Hiroshi says. Don't get smart with me, but because you just asked, here it is. Reckless endangerment, unauthorized usage of the university's properties, unauthorized actions, almost blowing up the entire school, the entire country, who knows, the entire fucking planet. Professor Kaito Hiroshi? Okay, I think you might be being a little bit overdramatic right there, and I haven't finished, all right then, but you both have done something, that's for sure. Professor Sakura Rin. And what is that? Blowing up both of your entire careers. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. What are you saying? You're both fired. Professor Sakura Rin. Wait, what? You can't do that, you can't. Are you forgetting who I am? I'm the head of this little institute and I can do exactly that, and you're both dead lucky as to that is all that I am doing. If the corporate fat cats had their way, you both would be rotting in jail just like last time, but as to just as the same as last time, they have left it in my hands and you both don't know, but the last time I informed to them as to, I am informing it to you both right now that if you both fuck up again, into which you both just have that, both of your asses will be history. As to that is what is exactly happening right now. So what is happening right now is that you both are fired right now, as of effectively immediately without parole. That's jail, not this, as to Professor Kaito Hiroshi says. I don't give two shits, and it means exactly that. You've both just literally blown up that second chance by, just almost blowing up the entire school and killing every single living soul that is inside of it. And I'm dead serious, you both should be. Rotting inside of a jail cell by now, not to mention a padded cell, so consider this to be both of your lucky days, and consider this as your early retirement. No fuck that just getting fired. As to Professor Sakura Rin just completely breaks down and starts crying. This is my whole life. I've dedicated my whole life to this. Put everything I have got into this. Years of studying and learning, dedicating my whole life to the improvement and well-beings of all of these students. And you're just going to flush it all right down the toilet. My entire life, and it wasn't my fault anyway. It was that cretin's. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Yeah, well, I pretty much did the same as well. I just did it. Just not giving a shit. Well, I did give a shit, just not as much as she did. Head of the university. Yeah. Well, you have a funny way of showing it by almost blowing up the entire school and getting yourselves fired, and I pretty much know that you were the one who was mostly to do with all of this, but sorry to say, but I know that she was partly to do with this as well, so when you go down, you both go down, and you both go down right now, whether it was mostly his fault or not, because I'm not going to further put any more lives at risk just for the simple fact of whose fault it is or not, or what potential that thing has. As to that is what could possibly happen next. Professor Sakura Rin, what do you mean? Well, you may not have impressed the university's board, or let's just face it, all of the parents to their children who come to this university by almost killing them all, but you may have impressed some certain other individuals who are all about killing and all that shit. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Oh shit, you mean the military guys? Yes, those crazy cretins. And they're here right now, and they want to have a little chat. Well, we would like to have a chat, but not here. If we are going to chat, then it must be done elsewhere. As to the General Cretin enters himself into the room with all of his military staff. Alright. What the fuck is it with this Cretin military general thing? My military general Cretin ass just saved all of your Cretin asses, but what the fuck anyway? Yes, we, as in we, all of the Pentagon, would like to have a little chat about this little device that you both have created. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Holy shit, did you just say the Pentagon? Yep. See, I told you this day would turn out to be our lucky day. Professor Sakura Rin is just looking at him. Okay, maybe getting fired from this bullshit place is a tad bit unlucky, but that is nothing compared to what is going to happen next. Is that what is going to happen next? Military General. Who knows? But if you both come with us right now, maybe? Professor Sakura Rin. Hold on. How do we know that this isn't a trick and you're taking us to the funny farm? The military general just laughs. That's funny and not a bad idea, but not for now at least. But yes, if you both come with us right now, your science universal, whatever the fuck it is, careers might be over. They are, as to the head of the university says. Okay, shit they are. But maybe a more and beneficial one could be waiting over the horizon. Professor Sakura Rin. Okay, enough of all of that magnitude of a fuck with your mind philosophical bullshit and just say what you mean. Okay, you're both not happy with the amount that you both make from this place. Is that correct? Professor Sakura Rin. Yes, that's correct. But how would you have possibly have known about that? We had your phones tapped. Oh, great. But continue. Well, after your last little disaster, yes, we were informed too of this by the first corporate fat cats, because we had their communications tapped, as well as to then we learned and studied ourselves into what you have both created as to this little device, and yes, it has definitely caught our interests, and yes, your latest screw-up might have given us the perfect opportunity to swab you up and use you for ourselves instead of wasting all of your talents in this place. Head of the university. Yeah, well, thanks. Not like Harvard hasn't done anything for anybody or anything. Military general. Yeah, well, if they both come with us right now, they're going to be doing a lot more than what this shit place has got to offer anyway. Head of the university. Yeah, well, I think I have had enough of listening to all of this shit. So you both know now where you both stand, and that is both of your careers are over at this shit place, I mean university, and if you want to, you can both go with the mad, mental, crazy military cretins right here, you got that. Military general. Yeah, we got that, we're all mad, mentally crazy cretins, so what do you both say you fancy a new job? Professor Kaito Hiroshi, are you giving us a new job? Yes, if you agree to the terms. Professor Sakura Rin. And what terms would those be? Just come with us and we will show and explain everything to you. Professor Sakura Rin. Okay then, but if this is a trick, I don't know what the fuck I am going to do, but I'm getting the fuck out. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. What about me? No, your ass is on your own. The two scientists go with the military general and all of his personnel as to they all start into leaving the university as to professors. Sakura Rin and Kaito Hiroshi now knows that both of their careers are now over at that Harvard University and that their lives are pretty much fucked now, and if they are going to somewhat have a salvageable chance of salvaging their lives again, that they must both go. With the military general and all of his personnel to the Pentagon, to maybe into starting a possible career inside of the Pentagon's government, while the professors and all of the military staff are making their ways to the Pentagon. Professor Sakura Rin. So, what are these terms and conditions that we are both going to have to agree to if we are going to get into this little partnership? Military general. You mean you're both working for us? But yes, there are going to be some terms and conditions, but we'll discuss them when we get there. But there is something that you must both know right now. And what is that? You're not going to be working for the Pentagon directly. You're both just going to be going there to hash out all of the details, as into you'll both be possibly signing a new contract and mostly showing them what you both were trying to show everybody back at that university and just fucked it all up and may possibly be employed by us. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. So, who will we be working for directly or indirectly or whatever? You'll find out when we get there as to from there that they are keeping on with being to be escorted to the Pentagon. Professor Sakura Rin. So, is it actually what we have both created as to what has piqued your interest the most? Or is there something else? Military general. What do you mean? I get the feeling that what we have created is not all that there is, and that there is something else that you are not telling us. Yes, you are right, but like I said, everything will be shown and explained to you when we arrive at the Pentagon, and oh shit, we are about to be arriving. The military convoy that has both of the scientists that they are in, finally arrives all of themselves to the Pentagon. As to immediately the entire convoy arrives to the checkpoint gates. As to the military general, shows his credentials to the checkpoint guards. As to the checkpoint guards, inspect and scan all of his credentials and passes him through. As to they pass all of them through. As to his military convoy starts into making its way towards the Pentagon. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Holy shit, you boys don't mess about. You've got this place locked up tighter than a nun's ass. Military general. Yes, that's correct, but what did you expect? It's the fucking Pentagon, and unless you both want to leave this place in a fucking body bag, you both better be on your best behaviors, you get me. Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah, you don't have to tell that to me, just tell that to him. He's the epic fuck-up trying to blow everything up around here. The military general just laughs. So I guess your wife is always like this. Yes, her breaking my balls and my heart is always her favorite hobby. The two scientists are married. Well, just keep your husband under control, and you'll both be leaving smiling or in a body bag. Either way is fine with me. The two scientists just look at him. I'm just joking. Look, we're almost there. The military convoy has just arrived to the Pentagon. As to the two scientists are escorted out of the convoy and are starting to be escorted into the Pentagon's building. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Okay, this is just like a dream come true. I have always wondered what it would look like in this place, and what can I say, you have completely disappointed me. This place looks boring as fuck. It couldn't look any more duller and depressing if it tried. It could use a lick of paint to spice up the place. Military general. What are you, an interior designer or something? Just shut the fuck up and keep moving. As to they are arriving at the inner first checkpoint of the building. As to the military general shows and presents his credentials to the checkpoint guards. As to they scan them and let them pass through the first checkpoint. Professor Sakura Rin. Yeah, you say this place is like a dream come true, but what the fuck this place looks like that it could become your worst nightmare in the blink of an eye. If you blink at them in the wrong way, I don't think that military general is lying. You'd better behave yourself and not get us fucking killed. Military general. Yeah, she's right, and that speaks for the rest of us. Professor Sakura Rin. What do you mean? You have no idea how right you are about that and what this place is capable of. Even if I misbehave, I'm getting escorted out of this place in a body bag. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. So, depending on the way that I act, will determine whether we will walk out of here or not, including yourself. I'm going to remember that. Yeah, well, just remember that means all of us. As to your wife is going out of here in a body bag if you fuck up, so just remember that. Oh shit! Yeah, you're right as to when they all arrive at the next checkpoint. Checkpoint guards. Credentials, please. Professor Kaito Hiroshi. Oh my god, I have had enough of all of this James Bond, Jack Bauer spy shit bullshit as to he just grabs his wife and storms past the checkpoint. Military general. Hey, what the fuck did I say about behaving? You trying to get all of us fucking killed. As to the checkpoint guards immediately react and raise all of their weapons as to they are just about to fire all of them upon Professors Sakura Rin and Kaito Hiroshi, as to two of the highest members of the Pentagon's chief of staffs just walk out laughing. Saying, yeah, even those checkpoints drive us fucking crazy. It's alright, stand down and let them through. As to the guards lower their weapons, as to the military general and the rest of his staff race straight up to Professor Kaito Hiroshi and says, you stupid bastard, you have no idea how close you just got your wife and yourself killed, you mad crazy. Professor Sakura Rin. Mad crazy scientist. Yeah, you're right, and you have no idea just how crazy that is. That's child's play to him, remember he almost just blew up a school full of kids. You think he gives a shit about some checkpoint even if it's this place? Trust me, darling, he doesn't give a shit. Military general. Oh well, maybe your husband should have been in the military instead, because that's the first time I've seen someone pull off that sort of crazy mental bullshit as to everybody makes themselves to the two highest members of the Pentagon's chiefs of staff. So I see then that you got your hands full. Military general. Yeah, but I think that it will be worth it even if that one is a crazy bastard. These two scientists, I think that they will both be worth it. Professor Sakura Rin. Sorry, what can I say? My husband is a complete fucking idiot. Chiefs of staff. Yeah, husbands always are. As to they all start into making their ways all into the inside of the main Pentagon's chairs of the chiefs of staff.